Trying. Ooh. Okay, this is obviously not the music that Charles uses, but we're still Be Awesome Together. And you might have noticed that Charles has changed his name and his look. Yes, he's Bobby Blackwolf tonight because guess what? Charles is not feeling well. So we're going to wish him feeling better and just see what we have going on here. So Bobby, you want to tell? I know everybody already knows who you are, but no. I need to stall because I got to check and make sure we're actually live.
Yeah, no, I am the new rock god of podcasting. That's what's going on here. And Tyra, you know that I'm kidding.
That's awesome.
I'm not the god. I like rock music. But anyway, my name is Bobby Blackwolf, and I have been a podcaster and streamer really for almost 20 years now. It'll be 20 years next July.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it is. It is. You want to know why? It's because I don't like quitting. And I don't know when to quit.
Well, that's good.
And so I probably should have quit a while ago, but I haven't. So I'm a video game podcaster. So I've been talking about the video game industry for about almost 20 years now on the internets. And in the past, I was kind of more like actually like in the industry doing PR. I did game reviews. I did interviews. I would go to trade shows with my microphone. I've been able to interview a whole bunch of people, but now it's kind of more of a community focused show. It's styled after an AM radio talk show of the old, because that's what I knew in 2005 when I started, right? And
seems reasonable.
Yeah, and it worked, and I just don't like change. So I did that. I actually, even in the beginning, I took live calls. I actually had a toll-free number.
Oh,
it
that's
basically,
cool.
And for the technical folks, it was basically I had a Skype in number, like you could actually have like a virtual number, like a Google Voice number nowadays, but it was on Skype. And then I got a toll-free number attached to that number, and so people could literally call a 1-800 number. It's actually 1877 to call into the show, and I wouldn't screen the call, so you never know who would call in.
Oh, you're.
I was brave. Yeah, no, 4chan found me once. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah,
but yes, so the show's called The Bobby Blackwolf Show. I thought I was only going to do it for 19 days, and here I am 19 years later. And it talks about the video game industry. We do still theoretically would take live calls. We use Discord now. It originally started on internet radio. So it was Shoutcast Internet Radio with an IRC chat room using Skype in 2005. That was what it was. That's what we had at the time. And in 2018, we moved over to Twitch and added video. So I now do it over video, and we have Discord for the voice, but we use Twitch and Twitch chat. And it's on the Voice of Geeks Network, which is a podcast and streaming network that I started with my friend Rob Roberts and a couple of our other podcasting pals back in 2012. And it's
that's a long relationship.
It is. It's a very good friendship. That's something I'm thankful for. Is those long-term friendships. And yeah, so that's me, and I'm based up here in the Atlanta area. Yeah,
we're both actually in the Atlanta area, which is kind of sexy all in itself. Mm-hmm. And we actually have fall weather right now, which I am thankful for because I'm sick and tired of being hot.
Now it's going to get really, really cold.
Which is okay. I'm okay with that. My dog is not, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Because my dog hardly has any hair. So he has coats. We're one of those people.
The thing that I hate is that, because here we are talking about the weather. The thing I'm not thankful for is the fact that like we have like the 2 seasons, and then the really nice seasons that I really like last for like a week.
Yo, no, truth.
And I always miss, like, I'm out of town or something that 1 week, like that one beautiful week where it's like low 70s, nice, stuff. And then like, okay, that's done. Now it's going to be in the 40s and 50s, and
Yeah, we get a nice little breeze. I love that.
Yes, for like a week, and then it's over.
It's true. We're either melting or freezing. There's really, not much else in Georgia. I seem to remember us having seasons before, but maybe it's just a figment of my imagination.
Yeah. I mean, things change.
It's true. And if we think about it, the digital media track has changed so much since it started. Like you were there at the beginning because I have a picture of you.
Yeah.
Back when we were the podcasting track.
Yep.
And
Year one.
Year one.
I was there year one. It was my because that would have been 2006, I want to say, because it was
Feels like it.
it was there was one panel in the EFF track in 2005
Yes.
about podcasting, and it was basically the one panel in the EFF track that they had a line out the door. It was standing room only because they didn't have it in a ballroom. They just had it in their panel room.
Oh, no. And their panel room has always been upstairs in the Hilton.
It was in the 200. It was in that 200 level. I seem to remember at the time.
Yep.
And so I didn't get into it, but it was so big that, and they were like, you need to make this a track. And thankfully we had, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Tracy Hickman. That's who it was. So Tracy Hickman, who novelist, I knew him from Dragonlance, but he's done so many other things. He had a podcast at the time, and he actually convinced DragonCon they needed a podcasting track. And then he never showed up on the podcasting track after that. But he was very instrumental in getting it created. Because I'm like, oh, I get to meet Tracy Hickman. Never got to meet Tracy Hickman.
No, not happening.
But I was doing my gaming podcast for less than a year. And they had a podcasting for games panel on the first iteration. And I was a panelist. And that's probably where you see the picture
that probably
of me was from that. And it was the one thing about the gaming. And the thing that I loved about it is because it was DragonCon, they all looked at me and they're like, why video games? Because they were all D&D.
Right. Back in the
tabletop.
Day. Right.
And they were like, oh, video games. Why are you here? Like it was.
We have some news for you.
Yeah. So, but it was great because like I started going to DragonCon in 1996, 97. The dates are murky. I think it was 97.
I have the same date murkiness that you do.
Well, it's because I bought I looked at my T-shirts and I remembered, I was too broke to buy the current year's T-shirt, but they had the previous year's T-shirt at a deep discount. So I have the DragonCon 96 T-shirt, which meant that I believe 97 was my first year because I couldn't afford the 97 T-shirt.
Yeah, I don't even have T-shirts. Like I think I started coming in 1990.
Yeah. I do have and I don't have them like sitting right next to me, but I actually have the program book and the little quick start guide from 97.
I'm so jealous.
And so and by the way, Clive Barker was the big get in 97. Yep. They actually had a whole Clive Barker track because Clive Barker was here.
Did they really? Okay.
Yes, they did. In 97, there was a whole Clive Barker track. But I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool one day? Because I came back all the time. Like, wouldn't it be cool one day to be on the other side of the table for one of these?
I know.
And stuff. And then in 2006, it actually happened. I'm like, that's cool. That's never going to happen again. That's a one-time thing.
And look at where you are now.
And look at me now.
And look at what you got to do this year.
I know. So this year, one of the things I'm thankful for is I got recommended by including Charles. So I am thankful for Charles.
We are all thankful for Charles.
I mean, I'm not always thankful for Charles, but in this instance, I am thankful for Charles. And but I was invited to help with the main programming side of things at Digital Media, which other people from the Digital Media track have quote unquote graduated up there as well. So there's some other people that to help and thank for that. And they liked me.
They really liked you.
They liked me, and so as of right now, like anything can change. But I'm going to probably be back doing main programming stuff next year.
I'm so excited for you. I just think it's great.
So I am excited about that. So I was able to do that. That's something also. It's like, man, wouldn't it be cool to be in Centennial Ballroom? And then I'm in Centennial Ballroom moderating panels. Like,
oh my gosh.
Like, yes, I got to the other side of the table. It's not the way that I envisioned in my head. I thought I was going to be one of the actors that everybody was here to see. That was my head canon when I was a kid. But,
well, that's a good canon.
Yeah. Like I thought I was going to become an actor.
I didn't know that.
And well, I never actually did anything to become an actor. I was a software developer and that's my day job. And
it's a good day job.
Yeah.
So I understand. I perform on a stage for my day job.
Yeah. I enjoy performing, which is funny because if you talk to anybody like that I went to school with, they're like, what?
Huh?
Because I didn't say much. I didn't talk much in school. So like already tonight, I have said more words than I said my entire 4 years in high school. Just tonight.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Things have changed. Shocker.
Things have changed.
I was always a talker.
Yeah, no, I was not. And so
I got
I was one
on,
of those kids that didn't
on behavior.
I was a band kid, so I played music.
I was a chorus kid.
I was a band kid.
Okay.
Which is why I'm getting surrounded by all these theater kids going all wild over a movie right now. Because it's like the theater kid renaissance right now. And I'm like, yeah, you theater kids have fun. You have fun.
I like theater, but you know who I love is Kaz, and she just shouted out to us, Kaz, I love you so much. You keep us going and moving. Mm-hmm. She's a theater geek. I didn't know that.
There it is.
Things we don't know for $200.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we could use that $200. Matter of fact, we need track sponsors, just saying. But yeah, Kaz was so funny. She's like, I thought about poking you, but I didn't want to nag. And I'm like, oh no, honey. Charles and I need nagging.
Yes. Yes.
Especially as the end of the semester is arriving in my world.
Yep.
So, well, I thought about it, and it actually was 1988 when I started going.
So that's like near the beginning.
Yeah,
was
no,
it like
I was
number
there
one or
year
number
two.
two? Number two? Okay.
Year two.
Yeah, because the big 40th is not 2025, but it's 2026 is the big Dragon Con 40th.
It's going to be so much fun.
Yes.
And if we thought hotel rooms were hard to come by this year.
Yep.
Oh, so do you have a legacy?
I'm thankful for my legacy.
Oh, you do? Where's your legacy?
It's in the Hyatt.
Okay. We lost our gateway to a legacy during COVID. Long story short, things happened with our friend who had it under her name. And oh, well, life goes on. So now we stay at the Ritz, and every year I panic. But within 30 seconds, we all had rooms. It was amazing. I will not give anybody tips because I need the room. So
right.
And the Ritz is horrible. Please do not stay there. You don't want to stay. Go to the Corgi instead, or the Omni, but not the Ritz. Thank you.
So how many times do you sing every time you're there? But not the Ritz, and do the Young Frankenstein dance?
Zero.
Zero?
Zero. Oh. Now, one of my guest guy friends, he probably does, but no.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but you know. Oh, so Kaz was back of stage.
Okay.
So I was always in the chorus in our musicals, but that was
I've done one musical in the pit band. Because like I said, and it was community theater. This one community theater up here, it was in the Atlanta area. They didn't last long. Actually used live musicians for their pit band, and I'm like, you know what, this would be cool. And I have an electronic drum set, so the sound guy loves me already because he's like, oh, the drummer's playing too loud, let me turn him down a little bit. And you know, it's an electronic drum set.
The drummer always plays too loud though.
Yes, because it's fun. And I did it once, and it was great, and I thought I was going to be able to do it again, but schedules didn't work out, and then the theater closed. But I did so that was my one time on the musical, and I'm like, yeah, you know, one day, like, it is a bucket list, maybe, you know, actually taking some acting classes, because I've never taken acting classes, and actually doing like community theater. Like nothing big, like I'm not trying to, you know, be huge or anything, but I have a lot of like little bucket list items, like that'd be cool to do once at least, and you know, and that's always been one of them. But yeah, if any theater kids out there, it was Nonsense. It's an off-Broadway play.
Yes.
And they did it here. This would have been like 2007, 2008, something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I played drums in Nonsense for a local community theater for a summer.
Nonsense is fun.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So I have always wanted to take voice acting lessons.
Okay.
I still don't want to be in front of a camera, but hi, here I am.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've always wanted to take voice acting lessons. And I think it's Carter. I always forget his first name. He's a voice actor in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And he does some classes. And sooner or later, if I
Yeah.
ever have time, quote unquote. That's on my bucket list.
I was going to take like acting classes for like that community theater. That was my New Year's resolution in 2020. So I like in January of 2020, I'm like, yeah, this is the year I'm going to like go in and actually like take acting classes. And then obviously we didn't, because I'm like, no, I want in person. I don't want to do the virtual ones. So I kind of held off on it and still haven't gotten back to it. But I think that like that would help me with a lot of the other stuff I do.
Yeah. I mean, especially now that you're on Centennial Ballroom.
Yeah. Not Marriott. I haven't hit Marriott Atrium yet. That's the big one.
Oh, is that? Yeah, I guess that is the biggest. So I am thankful that they opened up Attending Pro and guest applications and already got my stamp of approval, and I'm super happy about that because then I don't have to worry about it. I just have to worry about everybody else's.
I put mine in last night, so I'll probably get my stamp of approval after the holidays because they absolutely deserve to have some time off, and it's not that it's not that urgent, you know.
No, we're not rushing, but we saw some friends of the track have already gotten theirs.
Good.
One of which I'm going to say I'm thankful for is Tills by Bob McGoo. He has just been a wonderful person that has come into my life because of fandom and cons. I think I actually met him at Multiverse instead of Dragon Con, but just a wonderful guy, great panelist, great moderator, and most importantly, I'm going to do a newsletter because of him. So that's one of my hello, Dobby. Dobby has arrived.
Oh, now the party can start.
The party can start. He did bring me a sock one day.
Okay.
So Kaz says improv classes are a fun way to start. Dad's Garage has them. I love Dad's Garage.
Yep. I've actually done a Dad's Garage improv thing before. A company that I worked with, they actually had like an event where they brought everybody into Atlanta because we were a remote company. And they actually had people from Dad's Garage come in and do like the corporate improv.
Okay.
Classes. And so it's not like the comedy improv, but it's more, kind of more thinking on your feet and, reacting and stuff, because they frame it as a way of like you're dealing with clients and you need to be able to react to what's happening there. So here's some exercises to do that. So, and that was a lot of fun.
100% that would be good. Like I would love to do that with my students. Because
I
think that one of the things we lose.
Dad's Garage may do that. You may need to reach out.
No, I wonder if they're free because we're poor. We're a state university and I have no funding, but I will ask. I'm not afraid to ask.
Yeah.
But that would be great because I think that's particularly with COVID and all the things and electronically, learning how to do that is important.
Yeah.
And I always tell them that you got to learn how to do the in-person thing, but you got to learn how to do the camera thing, which I, as we have said previously, do not enjoy too much. But being able to do that can be a huge difference when you make impressions upon people. So good call, Kaz. Now I want to go talk to Dad's Garage.
Yep.
So I'm thankful for Kaz, who's another friend I have made through the track. She keeps us all in line. Who have you met through the track that you're grateful for?
Well, so there's this woman named Tyra.
That's awesome.
So there's that. No, there's been a lot of people, and it's kind of interesting because like I forget that like a lot of the people that I've met came from Dragon Con just because now they're part of my online circle.
Right.
And it's like, oh yeah, because I have multiple online circles and they kind of sometimes they'll even overlap and run together. So, like, and Charles is absolutely one. Like I said, I'm not always thankful for Charles, but I guess I'm thankful for Charles for the opportunities that he has spread around. He's done very good at including other people in those opportunities and, and then introducing to the right people. And so there's been a lot of content creators that I've met through Dragon Con throughout the years, that have really given like a lot of great advice. I've learned a lot of things from them and, just gotten to play with them, basically perform or do something and have jokes with them, joking around in front of a crowd and getting a crowd to, explode, is always kind of fun.
It's great.
It's great. And, being able to essentially perform with other people, even though we're doing a Q&A panel, there's a little bit of performance in our Q&A.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
I mean, you've got to, have to know how to work a room if you're going to moderate or be a panelist, I think.
Yeah.
At least a little bit.
Yes.
So I'm going to say Scott Moore because strangely enough, I met him through the track, but my husband already knew him.
Okay.
So they had met through a mutual friend years before. And then he was at the track and he's like, wait a minute, I know you. And Scott's just a big blessing in our lives. I love Scott, and he doesn't know this, but I need him to come help mount a TV this weekend.
So when is he going to know that?
Probably after this.
Okay. Unless you're here right now, Scott.
I'm going to feed him and give him beer. I mean, or whiskey or whatever he wants. Okay. So, and dog licks. I mean, you can't really.
While he's trying to hang the TV?
Hopefully not.
Okay. Because I would suggest against that.
Yeah, no, I'll probably keep Dobby downstairs. Now, the cats, on the other hand, they have a mind of their own.
Right.
So I'm also grateful for the cats, but
yeah.
No, but it's been great knowing Scott. And we have the best volunteers on our track. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've been to other tracks, and tracks are awesome, but our track runs so well because of the volunteers.
Well, and the reason that one of the things that I think as an outsider, as somebody who's kind of not, part of this, is that because the digital media track actually needs people that have like expertise in certain things.
Right.
That means that you get a higher quality person because you need a higher quality person, which I know has not always been the case with the podcasting track. In the past, pre Charles, and a lot of the other tracks, it's like they're like, okay, just stand by the door and count people or check badges or yell at people to stay in the line. And that's all the other track volunteers. That's a lot of the things that they do is crowd management. And the volunteers that a digital media track have to do the crowd management and work on an audio mixer and work a computer and work a camera and stuff. And so you get a higher quality group of people that are more dependable.
No, it's true. And we also, I mean, they're not just doing technical things. Like people like Cause come in and help us really be able to take in all those panel submissions and get them organized. And because let's face it, Charles would not be organized.
No.
Now, he does a great job. He does the scheduling. He deals with that Dragon Con program that track directors hate.
Yep.
And he's always on time and early when he turns in his stuff. I have to say that. But without Cause, that would be so much more of a nightmare. And I don't think other tracks have people that are as dedicated as ours are throughout the year.
Some do.
Okay.
Sure. I work with one of the other tracks and do know that,
Which track?
Video game track.
Oh, okay.
They
I've been
do
over there. They're pretty fun.
Yeah. And that I like their director that they've got now actually lives near me. I see him every once. We do team trivia together sometimes.
Ooh.
Because he actually knows a friend of mine that I've had for 20 years.
Okay.
And then so like she brought him into our group, and then suddenly it's like, oh, the video game track directors now just did trivia, and we're just hanging out doing bar trivia. We don't even talk Dragon Con. We're just like talking like gaming and
that's good.
Other things. So,
I mean, we can talk about other things.
Yes.
As Kaz says, she organizes us so we can do our best.
Mm-hmm.
And here's somebody I'm grateful for, too, is Valencia.
Hi, Valencia.
She is awesome. She is always stopping by. Next year at Dragon, I'm going to hunt you down, lady.
Ooh.
I'm stalking you.
Are you in trouble?
No, she's awesome.
Okay.
So what are you most thankful for in 2024?
Basically, a lot of the opportunities I've been able to have and a lot of the experiences I've had. I've kind of learned that I really value experiences and been able to do some great things, both kind of in the digital media space and outside of it. And so it's really that, and having my wife who is very supportive of all this stuff.
She's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, she is. And like she was told, I'm like, I may go do the Dragon Con thing, so we can't eat until after 9. And she's like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. So
Yeah, I told my husband, hey, there's Bojangles leftovers in the refrigerator. Have at it.
Hmm. So really, I've been able to do a lot of neat stuff. Been doing some traveling as well, finally getting back into doing traveling
That's good.
and stuff. So just and I'm you know I know I'm bringing it back to DragonCon, but that's also
That's okay.
opened other doors at other places. Doing the main programming stuff, because like there may be other things in 2025 that I'll be able to do now that I've kind of opened that door
Right.
and walked through it.
100%.
Yeah.
I would say that this year I got back into doing other cons. So, like, I was a guest at Multiverse and a guest at Conjuration. I'm going to be a guest at Chattacon coming up first of the year. And hopefully Stellar Fest is coming. It's a sister con to Conjuration, so I'm excited about that. But those being part of Dragon Con and the track has really kind of made me push that.
Yeah.
And
And
hopefully
that's
push
a little
some
bit of what I
things.
want to do in 2025 is kind of do. So maybe we'll talk and maybe I
We
can
should.
walk with you, and
I would love that.
and because I'd love to do some of those other stuff like around in the area
Mm-hmm.
and
And we're
kind of
so
expand
lucky
that.
here because of that.
Yeah, because like practice makes perfect, right?
It does.
And I don't want to wait until September to work with a crowd again.
No, it's so true. I mean, like I have found that I think doing this show, particularly, I have gotten more comfortable on camera. I joke about it, but I'll actually do camera videos now for my students when I feel up to it and I have enough makeup on. But it's made me a better moderator, a better interviewer, things that I'd never thought I'd be doing or want to do. And sometimes you just got to take that walk off the cliff,
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for being pushed off occasionally.
Yeah.
So Valencia says, I'm thankful for my parents, my brother, and his girlfriend, and I'm thankful for my job of 23 years. I am also thankful for my job. I work at Kennesaw State. I teach marketing students, and I love it, and I'm blessed with it. My parents have gone on, but and so has my brother. But I still have my sisters, and I'm going to see them tomorrow, and I'm super happy. One of which has one new knee and is getting another new knee in January.
Wow.
I'm so excited. The doctor had no idea how she was able to walk. That's how bad they were. So I am excited for her new found freedom and life that she's going to get to enjoy because of having new knees.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to hit more equipment. That's what I'm going to do.
Here, I'll do that. There we go. Now you're not alone.
I would also say I'm thankful for your lovely bride as well, because she has hung out with me at several places, including Southern Fried, which we've gone to Southern Fried before, but this past year I had such a blast.
Yes. That is, don't tell DragonCon, that is my favorite convention.
Shh.
DragonCon's like right up there. But no, I was also there on the ground floor, basically, at Southern Fried Gaming Expo. It started as a pinball and arcade expo, and then it's kind of slowly grown to be more like gaming, adding the tabletop. And they've even got their, if you are into tabletop games in your local, they've got their spinoff convention in January.
Oh.
It's called Dice and Diversions. And it's kind of it's a very small, their first year was last year. This year it's at the Marriott that's near the Battery.
Yes.
So it's not in the Battery, but it's kind of it's one of the parking lots they use for the baseball games. But
I
it's
know
in
that
area.
one. I've done. I ran. Did I run a convention there? No, but I've been to a convention there.
It's been used for multiple conventions. I have been there for multiple different conventions. But it's a tabletop and D&D thing. They've got the library, kind of like the Southern Fried Gaming Expo library, but they've also they're taking the Gen Con model of something that Gen Con does, where you can actually purchase a ticket to actually try a game and, maybe get a chance to win it, but you actually get a privately led session of the game, maybe by the game designer, many cases. But Gen Con does a lot of these ticketed things where, like, yes, you can play games that are there, but you can buy a ticket to something and actually have like the game's creators like walk you through the game, and you get a play session that way, or they're running the game for you. And So Dyson Diversions is kind of our take on it, and they have a couple of those, but it's mostly like you go in and there's a library, you can check out games and free play and tables everywhere and everything. And does Southern Fried need volunteers as cause? Yes.
Yes.
They are called the Troopers. They are the SFGE Troopers.
Ooh.
And yes, they absolutely, because that is kind of, they've taken a lot of inspiration from Dragon Con, Southern Fried Gaming Expo. That's why there's wrestling. It's actually the same wrestling people that do Dragon Con do Southern Fried Gaming Expo.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah. So.
And I'm going to apologize to the YouTube people out there because I'm going to be showing things twice on their channel. Actually, I'm just going to pop it up here. Dyson Diversions is the tabletop gaming. Yep. Unfortunately, it's the same weekend as Chattacon.
Yeah.
Boo. And you can go to gameatl.com and volunteer, and that's where you can get in with Southern Fried.
Yep. They absolutely could use volunteers.
Yeah, and Southern Fried is so much fun, cause like our favorite thing, we got a hotel room for Saturday night only because we live close, but we want to be able to pinball to our little heart's content.
Yep.
So we were like, we're just going to stay.
Yep. I have a hotel for Friday and Saturday night down there just because I didn't want to have to, especially this past year, there was a home baseball game.
Yes.
But this year, it's an away weekend.
Oh,
the Braves are not playing on the weekend they have this year.
Oh, well, we just found out that Kaz's hubby loves pinball.
Well,
yeah. Can't have more fun. Friend of our track, Kevin Cafferty, said, I'm thankful that I'm able to get to Dragon Con and hang out with all you wonderful yahoos. And that probably is the best way to describe us.
Yeah.
It's a low-key miracle that I'm able to pull it off. I understand that. Yep. And we're so thankful for you, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you'll be back in 2025 with the rest of us.
Yeah.
I keep trying to get Rob to come to, Rob Roberts, who's part of VOG with Bobby, to Southern Fried again.
It might most likely will happen this year.
Yeah.
We're still like dotting some T's and crossing some I's. But it's especially with it being a month earlier than it was last year, it's a little bit further separated from Dragon Con because it's in June instead of July.
Yes.
But he's actually been. He came a couple of years ago to Southern Fried.
Okay. I knew he'd been there once, and I was like...
he's come out once because we're a sponsor. So the Voice of Geeks Network, we actually are one of the silver sponsors of Southern Fried Gaming Expo. And
right.
So, and they actually had him moderate a panel with some of the Nintendo voice actors when he was here.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. So but he loved it. He loved it. And he's like, man, I want to go back. But it's like flying from Sacramento to Atlanta is not fun.
No.
You know, and I have not done the return trip yet. Like I haven't like flown out there for something in Sacramento. Like I kind of feel bad.
Oh, well, we should all just go out
do
there. Let's just land on his doorstep.
Yeah.
Little does Rob know what we're planning.
That's right. He's watching, probably. His ears are burning, and he turned in.
Know. He'll pop up suddenly. I'm really good at manifesting you on the show. Mm-hmm. Like, you will just poof out of nowhere.
Yep.
I don't know that I can do the same with Rob. But the Voice of Geeks, VOG, does also... You sponsored our networking event last year, and I think I think you're going to do it again this next year. Yep. I'm excited about it. How did that go?
We've got some tweaks that we want to do with it. But it actually went a lot better than we thought it would.
Yeah.
And so, there's some tweaks. We're going to be talking about it amongst ourselves. But it essentially it was really great the way that we framed it is that on the Thursday of Dragon Con, which is the new Friday, which means that Monday. Yeah. Anyway, there was the kickoff event at 5:30. Yep. And that was where the track introduces itself to you, the audience. Then our networking event at 7:00 was where you introduce yourself to the track. And we had like some little groups. We broke out down into groups. And we were going to have like, people that are kind of running the thing or like running the conversations. So like we'll have like the idea is we'll have like our Twitch person and then a podcaster and then a TikToker and then a YouTuber. And it's like, hey, if you want to, and you can go around and jump around to other people. And we had like topics that were like, traditional networking topics of like, let's for the next 5 minutes talk about this, but nobody talked about that. We just all talked to each other. But it was still great because it was like saying, yes, this is when you stand in a circle and talk with creators and talk about yourself. and we've already introduced ourselves to you. Now you introduce yourself to us, and there's some tweaks we can do, and we're going to do them. But we really enjoyed running that.
I think I love the whole idea of it because I think especially if there's new people and they had it's like their first dragon or their first time coming to the track, it kind of already gives you somebody that you can go, oh, I remember their face, and you can talk to them and at least have a comfort touch point, shall we say.
Yeah.
I was trying to find, Charles wrote me. He says, we do wish that track director Charles McFall feels better. I am sorry that you are sick, especially at Thanksgiving. But he said that he is super grateful for all who interact with us through Dragon Con. That's not official. That's just from Charles the man. But I know how much he appreciates everybody.
Not Charles the God?
No, I refuse.
So this is from the rock man of podcasting.
Well, he thinks he's the rock god of podcasting. It was from the bear crawler himself. So I love you, Charles. Even when you're not here, we make fun of you. But we do appreciate you because you are a man of vision, and you have definitely grown our track and pushed it to be more and for all of us to do more, which is really your end goal. So I was asking, so is there this year when you got to do main stage programming, what was your favorite thing or person that you got to meet?
Well, so I only met two groups of people, like one person in a group. But believe it or not, I was actually scheduled a lot on the digital media track, which lessened how much I could be on main programming.
Okay.
Because they didn't want me to do too much. Like, so they were like, oh, you're already on 4 digital media panels.
Gotcha.
So we're only going to put you on like 2 or 3 things because they don't want you to do more than like 8 things the weekend because they want you to enjoy the convention. And they're now like, since they've expanded the moderators, they don't need a moderator to moderate 15 panels all weekend, which is what they used to do.
Right.
But now they've like almost kind of doubled how many moderators they have on the main programming. So they don't need you to run 15 anymore. You can actually go enjoy the convention.
What a shock.
So, but I worked with Catherine Tate.
I'm so jelly.
From Doctor Who twice.
So jelly.
Actually. And she is she's a force of nature.
Yes.
She does not like the traditional convention format.
I'm shocked.
She absolutely does not like sitting behind a desk like it's a press conference for a missing person. That's how she says it. And so she's like literally like walking around the room.
That's really awesome.
So I'm and normally in the past, I would like if this was a previous Dragon Con, I would go up, introduce her, and leave. I would not be there anymore. Like that would be it. I would be doing just the intro. But what Dragon Con now does on main programming is for accessibility mainly now is something that they started to do during the actor strike. And that's they took questions via their Discord server.
Okay.
Because for the actor strike, they didn't want people just asking questions. They needed to all be filtered through the moderator. But a lot of people that either had anxiety about speaking in front of a room in a ballroom or, couldn't get to the mic wherever the mic was. This was a great alternative. And so I'm like, I still have to be here. And every couple questions that we ask from the audience, I'll ask one from Discord.
Very nice.
So I stood off to the side and basically did what I normally do on my Sunday night show. I'm filtering things from, Discord and being like, all right, so we've got a question from so-and-so. And then that person would wind up then continuing to talk because Catherine would like look for him or her. And, actually continue the conversation. So, but it was cool because I was able to kind of direct the conversation a little bit.
Nice.
And so that's part of what I've learned over the years of doing a podcast where I'm reading chat and having chat direct conversation is I know how to get when I want to invoke certain things from chat because not everything Twitch chat tells me is something I want to respond to.
No, I'm shocked.
And not everything put in that Discord chat was something that I wanted to bring up.
Right.
But there were certain things, and especially like I'm telling like if she's talking about something and kind of says something and I've got a Discord question lined up that's kind of referencing that, I can use that as the follow-up and stuff. So that's what I did with Catherine Tate, and she loved it. Like, we had great rapport.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, no, she enjoyed it a lot. And we met her up, and we met her in the Celebrity Petting Zoo. I'm sorry, excuse me, the Walk of Fame. And
I have never heard it called that. That's awesome.
And we went up, and the people were like, "This was one of your moderators," and she's like, "All right, here, what do you want? Like, you can have this and this." And I'm like,
Aww.
I had money out because, like, you never expect.
Right. No.
But like, I wanted to get a selfie with her, and I knew how much selfies cost, and she's like, "No, your money's no good here." And like, she took selfies with me and my wife.
That's wonderful.
Both of us. And you know, did an autograph for us and everything. Was like, "Thank you so much." It was a lot of fun because I didn't stay in her way. I didn't get in her way. Like,
you
the whole point,
her.
Because she's a stand-up comedian. She doesn't need somebody else to run the room. She can run her own room. But with the Discord stuff, she actually thought that was really cool that we were doing that. And so she was very open to it, and she would even cue me in and stuff.
That's
and
awesome.
include me. So that was probably that was my favorite one.
Oh, I can't blame you for being your favorite. And I love the fact that Discord really makes us be able to make things more accessible to people.
Yeah.
You know, which I think is great, because not everybody wants to stand up in front of a microphone and talk to people. And some people shouldn't.
Yeah.
I always cringe. That's my only problem when I go to panels like that. I'm like, please don't let anybody ask anything stupid. Please, 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 please.
Or, you know, so this is kind of a 3-part comment. I just wanted to say, and I'm like, no.
You may ask questions. Sit down.
Pick one comment and turn it into a question.
Right. Because you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
If not, we can help you.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's a good thing. Well, I love Catherine Tate. My favorite kind of like celebrity Dragon Con experience was actually Christopher Eccleston.
Okay.
I got to ride in the elevator with him.
Ooh.
And I remembered my words.
Good job.
I know. He's like, I asked him if he had a good time, and he said yes. And he goes, I hope they'd have me back. And I'm like, oh, I think they would have you back.
Yes.
You poor sweet man. We would definitely have you back in a heartbeat. So, and I'm excited because Stellar Fest, which is the Conjuration Sister Con, is going to have a Doctor Who track.
Okay.
So it's more sci-fi influence. So Star Wars, Star Trek, which I'm of course excited about because
that's my side of the house. I'm not as much in the comics or fantasy side.
Yeah, we're a little fantasy because I like my Lord of the Rings, and if we're all honest with each other, Star Wars is kind of both.
Yeah,
you know,
I was a Trek kid.
Okay,
so I was not a Star Wars kid. I was a Star Trek kid.
Well, were you part of Starfleet? There was a Starfleet fan group.
No.
Okay, well, you may be too young. There was a Starfleet fan group in Atlanta, and that's actually how I met the guy who introduced me into Dragon Con.
Okay.
But it's also where I met my best guy friend, who's now married to my best girlfriend. That's a lot of besties running around.
I was too young for that, and even though my parents were big into Star Trek, that wasn't the crowd that they ran in. Like my dad was big into technology, so I was actually online in the 80s because he was, and there were online groups, and that was the group that he ran in. We would go and we would hang out with other BBS sysops if that triggers any latent memories of anybody. So no, but he wasn't in the Star Trek fan groups or anything. They just really loved Star Trek and watched it a lot.
Very cool. Yeah, I was young and single and trying to find other geeks.
Yeah.
So that's how
I didn't yet like girls at the time. I was too young.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Pre-puberty was a couple years later.
Gotcha. Well, I'm a little bit older than you, so we'll just say that. But I Starfleet was kind of my gateway drug, and Star Trek. I always loved Star Wars. My sweet mother took me to a theater on Memorial Drive to see Star Wars when it came out, and she had no idea what she was getting herself into. None. And we were on like the second row.
Wow.
Yeah, when that Millennium Falcon. Space flight. Oh, so wonderful.
Yeah, I didn't have much Star Wars And that because
Okay.
like I mean I saw them not in the
Right.
theater, but like it was Star Trek. And then when Next Generation
Oh, yeah.
started, like that was like appointment viewing in the
Yeah,
house.
I agree.
And like my mom would also tape like all the Star Trek marathons off of TV. Like they would
Yeah.
have like here's the top 10 episodes and like because I've gone through because unfortunately my folks are no longer with us, but I found like all those VHS tapes that she taped off of whatever
No.
TV channel of like the top 10 Star Trek episodes as voted on by the fans and you know
That's great. Do you still have a VHS to play them with?
I do. What I've actually done is a lot of those tapes I no longer have.
Gotcha.
And where I sent them was actually one of the organizers of Southern Fried Gaming Expo does a lot of 80s nostalgia type stuff.
Oh, cool.
And what he does is he's like, and I've given him a gold mine. Like I gave him like 7 bankers boxes full of VHS tapes taped from television. I went through them first to make sure there's nothing too embarrassing on them.
Good call.
But I sent them that stuff, but he loves the commercials. So he goes through and like records the commercials, the old 80s commercials.
I have to tell you, as a marketer, I'm kind of that's exciting.
Yeah, and he's even like done like threads on social media of like, here's some of Bobby Blackwell's stuff. We're gonna look at this tape, and I don't know what's gonna be on it, but it's gonna be cool. And it's always like because we didn't cut out the commercials, so it also had like the bumpers for the station identification. Ads for local businesses that no longer exist. Or Ask for the Wolfman. Another like, oh, we haven't seen this Ask for the Wolfman ad for a while.
It's so
he has them now. So I didn't throw them away.
In a box.
So
I'm glad
I did keep a lot of them, and I do actually have some. And yes, I've got multiple VHS players that can play them.
Very good. DBZ9410. I never know how I'm supposed to say this, but hi, good to see you. Thanks for dropping in.
It's over 9,000.
Don't forget to tell us what you're thankful for out there. So what is your favorite Star Trek?
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. Deep Space Nine after Sisko shaved his head, and I really do prefer it when Worf's there.
Yeah. Yeah, because like my favorite show of all time is Babylon 5. So that's why DS9 is also in there with that. I have unfortunately not seen any of the Paramount Plus stuff because I don't have Paramount Plus.
Oh.
But I did buy the Blu-rays of like I think the first 2 seasons of Strange New Worlds and the entire series of Picard. So I can watch them, but I'm now all on this physical media kick again. For movies. Well, because everything gets delisted.
Yeah, no, that's
so like
true.
If you want to make sure that if you really like something, you should buy it. And I've got a nice 4K setup, so I buy the 4K Blu-rays of movies and stuff because like you never know. Like Paramount Plus already delisted one Star Trek show.
Oh, which one?
Well, they took Prodigy off, and then Netflix picked it up because they had already done the 2nd season, and Paramount Plus is like, nope, we're delisting it and we're not going to show it. And so Netflix actually picked it up to air the 2nd season. So we've watched a little bit of Star Trek Prodigy, which is a kids show.
Okay.
But it's got Janeway in it.
Oh.
Yeah. So the gimmick, Janeway's a hologram because the kids that find the ship, it was a training ship, and Admiral Janeway was the hologram the AI hologram that they used for training.
That's kind of cool.
So
I'm so far behind on Star Trek new episodes for anything. So we'll just leave that over there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been told that I like Below Decks. And
Lower Decks. That's what I've heard as well.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about cruise line Below Decks. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
My husband does work in the cruise industry, sort of, kind of.
I just got off a cruise boat a couple weeks ago. So I love cruises.
Which one did you go on?
I was on the Icon of the Seas.
Oh, which is that? I don't know.
That's Royal Caribbean. That's the big ass Royal Caribbean ship that you've probably seen on commercials. That's like, wow, that looks like a floating playground. And yeah,
ooh, was it?
Because it's the largest one in the world right now.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
I have never been on a cruise. I know, it's depressing.
Is it because you don't think you'd be able to handle the boat, or is it
Oh,
just you
no.
haven't had the time or money to be able to do so?
Time more so. Just trying to
Right.
figure it out. The crappy thing about being a professor, because you talk all the time about time off,
Yeah.
but I teach during the summers, and
Mm.
then the time off is when everybody else is off.
Yeah.
And so it's just problematic. Like, we are getting ready to go to Disney. That's what one of the things I'm going to be thankful for and looking forward to is we're going to Disney for Christmas, for 5 days the week before Christmas, and I can't
Nice.
wait. We got Marriott points.
Great time to go.
I hope so. I think it's
No,
before a lot of the schools will be out.
Yeah, one of the best time that I went to Disney was literally like the second week of December. Like you might be going the third week, but like
Yeah.
we went the second week of December, and like several years ago, and like the light shows, the lights
Oh yeah.
that they do, like at Hollywood Studios, just all the beautiful lights at night and everything. No, and it was great. Like I mean, there were people there obviously, but it wasn't like a madhouse.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. We're there actually the third week, but I think a lot of schools get out like the 20th.
Mhm.
Is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
I had to wait till after graduation, but
Mhm.
we had enough Marriott points from all
There you
these
go.
Dragon Cons that we're staying at the Swan on points, and I'm so excited.
Yep. Well, I hope you have a lot of fun.
Me too. We're going to a very Merry Christmas and
Yep.
going to do a Star Wars photo session. So y'all
There you
will get
go.
to see all of those pictures.
I have not seen all the new Star Wars stuff. I have not been there since Star Wars Land. We did.
Oh, it's so good.
We did what we thought was going to be the dumbest thing possible last year, 2023, and it turned out not to be dumb.
What'd you do?
So so this is a Disney story, but we had one of our neighbors was getting married and invited us to his wedding in Tampa because they
Okay.
have like a place in
Yep.
Tampa, and it was July 2nd, which was a Sunday in Tampa.
Okay.
And so we're like, okay, well, July 3rd just happens to be my mother-in-law's birthday, and she lives an hour south of Orlando.
Okay.
So we were like, all right, we'll drive down on the Saturday with the 1st, go to the wedding on the 2nd, surprise the mother-in-law, which we
Very
did
nice.
very successfully.
That's awesome.
We conspired with her husband, and they went to a restaurant, and we were talking to them, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna have blah blah blah. And then we got out of our car and like walked in behind them, like, you know what, burgers sound great, let's join. And she's like, tears, right? And then we're like, yeah, and the next day I really want to ride the Tron ride, so let's go to Magic Kingdom on July 4th. It actually wasn't that bad.
It wasn't?
Because
Okay.
No, here's why. Because it's a blackout date for season pass holders.
Oh, that's true.
So it was not as packed as we expected it to be. It was also a Tuesday.
That helps.
And it was sweltering hot, and then like a rainstorm happened at like 6 p.m. and then it
Cooled
stopped.
it down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
our
rode the
anniversary.
Tron ride twice, and I hate roller coasters.
Oh, well, that's
But
exciting.
it's Tron.
It is Tron.
So I got over my fear of roller coasters for 2 times to ride Tron.
Yeah, my husband doesn't like most roller coasters because he's so tall, and he's trunk tall.
Yeah.
So he's got kind of short legs for a 6'4" man. So, yeah, they turned on the lights one time in the Space Mountain,
Mhm.
and he saw how close he was to
Yep.
things, and that was a no-go after that.
Yeah.
I can't do them if they do any loops because my neck won't take it.
So thankfully, Tron does not do loops.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's the only thing it does, and what I did to prepare myself is I watched, like a lot of people do these YouTube videos where they put their 4K GoPro on the front seat,
Yes.
so you can actually kind of watch what it does. Right when it launches, it banks,
Okay.
and that's it.
Oh, okay.
There's like 2 banks in the beginning, and then it's just up and down and left and right from there.
I can do that.
It's not a loop. It's not inverted.
We want to say hi to Kurt, who we're also thankful for because I know him because of the
Vote me,
track. He's part of the Wise and Nerdy crew,
Mhm.
as well as a voice actor and fit guy. I forget what day you're on now, Kurt, but you're amazing. And he said he used to
I have
pull
Bruno Mars in my head right now.
Okay.
That's what he plays.
I used to pull the kids out of school the week after Thanksgiving, and all the Christmas stuff was up at Disney. It was fantastic. I agree. We would be going that week too if I didn't have to go to graduation.
Yeah.
And he also says Rock and Roller Coaster is the only one that has a loop. Well,
I know it's got
I won't be
three
doing
loops because I had to look it up recently because I've never ridden it, but they're retheming it to something I really want to ride,
it's the
but it's got loops and I don't know if I can handle it.
Oh.
They're
Yeah, no.
retheming it. They
Isn't it
announced last
Guardians?
week.
Oh.
So it's because it was Rock and Roller with Aerosmith, but what they're doing is they are actually taking out something else in
Oh.
Hollywood studios to put in a Monsters Inc. land.
What are they taking out?
Muppets. So Muppet Vision 3D and that, but Rock and Roller Coaster is going to be rethemed as Muppets Electric Mayhem.
Yeah, but I can't do the roller coaster. I could do
I know.
Muppet.
I know.
Okay. Anyway,
I know.
I just
and I looked and I'm like, oh, it's got 3 loops. There's 2 in the beginning because I found one of those 4K things and they had the lights on. And I'm like,
that's
okay.
awesome.
Loop. There's 2 loops, and then in the middle, it's got one more inversion. So there's 3 inversions on it. I'm like,
Yeah, no, that's a no-go. Thank
Yeah.
you, content creators, for warning us. Kurt, go find him. He's Fit Guy. He's day 445. His transformation has been amazing. And just to catch us up, Kurt also thinks cruises are awesome.
Yep.
And Valencia's on my side. I've never been on a cruise either. So she and I need to go do it because it's on my list.
And there are geek cruises.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be with that many geeks. They might want to talk to me.
Oh, but there's board games.
Okay, there's that. Okay. Yeah, I kind of feel this way, the same way as Kaz. Boo, Muppets leaving, yay, Monsters Inc. But that tells me for sure, because we've got a day in Hollywood Studios that I want to make sure I go to the Muppets thing this time.
Yes. And do Muppets Vision 3D because they've said that there is a future for Muppets Vision 3D, but we don't know what it is if they're just going to put it on Disney Plus or something. But they're doing something to preserve Muppet Vision 3D because it is the last thing Jim Henson did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that is the last thing Jim Henson did.
Well, you have to preserve it.
So they've already said that they're going to preserve it.
Keep it on. DBZ9410, and we hope that miracles happen and you're at Dragon Con next year. But he's been on 2 cruises, which is 2 more than me. And Jen, you did a Disney cruise?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I proposed to my wife on a Disney cruise.
Did you really?
In front of Goofy. Because Goofy's her favorite character.
That's so cute. My husband's a Donald Duck lover.
Yeah.
So it's on our list. I was thinking about it, and my bestie kind of tried to talk me out of it because she's like, all the kids. I'm like,
so here's the thing about Disney cruises.
Oh, please tell me.
Disney cruises do an amazing job of segregating the kids because what they do on Disney cruise lines that's different from other cruise lines is where every other cruise line has a casino. Disney's like, no, you're not going to have a casino. That's the kids area. And so in that area is they've got a reproduction of the Millennium Falcon with all the buttons and everything.
Wait a minute.
And they've also got an adventures thing and stuff. Well, on one of the sea days, they have open houses. And so me and my wife actually did go when the ship was docked at the private island and went in and played with all the kids stuff with all the kids not there. And it was the counselors were there and they were like, oh, good. It's adults to talk to. But we were having all our fun in there. But
Go ahead.
Yeah, so you don't see the kids as much because they don't want to be near you. They've got their own places.
I mean, I like kids. I'm just saying. Kaz says they had Muppets and Finding Nemo restaurants, which is super cool. And just to leave Disney, I think that we need to address the Pac-Mans in the room.
Yeah.
Sorry for sidetracking, Valencia says, but I'm slightly distracted by whatever that is Pac-Man related behind Bobby. I also love Pac-Man.
So this is Lego. This is the Lego Pac-Man. Awesome. And it's even got, so I'm going to take my Dragon Con badge off for a second so I can actually pick this up. Because it's got the topper on the top, right? So this is and it's all Lego. But it has a button on the back. That
oh my gosh.
So this is the topper, and then there's actually So on the actual Pac-Man itself, and it's probably not going to show up here. Let's see here. There's a little light on the. You push down a button, and there's a light on the coin door here,
Right there.
and then there's a crank. Let's see, where's the crank? It's probably on the other side, but there's actually a crank that actually moves the play field around. So like there's a little Pac-Man on here, and it's running around, and the ghosts are chasing it, and the fruit in the middle is going back and forth. There's a lot of gears on the back that if I wanted to like pick it up, I could actually take. You can actually easily take off the back and actually see how it all works, and it's actually kind of cool. I'm just not gonna do that here.
That is so awesome. I'm just enamored by them switching to the ghost. I think that's my favorite part. Kurt says, okay, that's amazing. And Mike Def says, that's an awesome Lego set. And I have to agree. That's one of the coolest.
And I've got the Nintendo Lego set back here. So there's the TV. And then like I've got like 4 Nintendos on top of each other. The bottom one's a real one. And I think the second one is a Lego one. And then the third one there is the NES Classic. And the top one is the Hallmark ornament of an NES. So I've got like stacking NESs up here because Hallmark wants your geek money.
Oh yeah, no, Hallmark definitely wants our geek money.
Hallmark is all about having your geek. This is their gaming console ornament for this year. It's an Xbox.
Oh, cute.
And all of their gaming console ornaments, you put in the batteries, and so when you press a button, it lights up and actually plays a sound.
I hear it.
And you probably might not be able to hear it, but it's doing the Xbox opening, and then it starts singing Halo is what it actually has going on here.
Oh, I should get that for Shane.
So that's this year's, but they've had in the past, like the Nintendo, the NES one, you press the button, the power button, and it plays Super Mario, and they had a Dreamcast one last year. So
these
Hallmark wants your geek money.
Absolutely.
And some of their like Doctor Who ones, and they're like they got a Grogu one that's actually like really good when it animates. And
yeah, no, they have some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
We'll be doing a geeky gift guide either, I don't know if it's next week or the week after. I got to find out. And so Valencia says, I got to meet Bobby next year. I just became a fan.
What?
Whose panel are you going to be a part of? He actually does his own panels too.
Yeah.
So we will make sure that Bobby's schedule's posted everywhere for you. He's awesome, by the way. And if you get a chance, talk to his wife too, because I really enjoy her. And DBZ940, I gotta come up with a nickname for you, sir. I want that Xbox.
Well, it's like I think it's like $14.99 at Hallmark.
I bet there's a Black Friday sale someplace.
I bet there's a Black Friday sale. My wife also just got me something. If we're, I don't know if there's a Black Friday sale, but at Dragon Con.
Ooh.
And I did not realize she was getting this for me.
Uh-oh, what did she get you?
And I'm not wearing it yet.
You got the sweater. Oh,
the
you
Dragon
guys
Con ugly sweater.
Oh, that is awesome.
So
good
in
wine.
December, I will wear this. It is not December yet, so I'm not wearing it yet, but I was going to show it.
Respect the turkey.
But I think Dragon Con's doing some Black Friday sale. Like we actually even got an ornament for Dragon Con 2024.
I know. We haven't got our 2024. I don't know how I missed it because I always get one every year. And so now I got to go back and get it. So
yeah,
it's on my list of things to do. We'll do that while we're wearing our Dragon Con hoodies.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to send us on out of here because I've got a Christmas tree to decorate.
Wow.
We are crazy. My husband bought the huge lights from Home Depot. They're going down our driveway. We have a family of deer. I hear that Donald Duck's going to be moving in. Okay. He is all in on decorating.
We have a narwhal that we put outside.
Aww.
And we actually put blue lights around him, so because he's in the water.
In the water, that's so cute.
He's a little Christmas narwhal. Great.
I like that. We just got naughty and nice signs with Mickey and Donald. Guess which one's naughty?
My dad was the Griswold.
Oh, okay.
Like that, and he was an engineer, so he engineered the Griswold stuff. And what he did, we had one of the roofs on our house was, where it was slanted, but the slant was going towards the street, right? And so instead of being like this, it was more like this. And if you're listening audio only, I'm sorry. But what he did is he found some of those deer that had the lights in them.
Yeah.
That most people put in their yard. He's like, no, screw that. They're going to be on the roof. But he didn't want to go up on the roof. he was a big guy. I'm like, I'm a big guy. He was bigger than me. And so he's like, I'm not going to go on the roof. I'm going to be an engineer about this. So he figured out the angle of the roof.
Oh my heavens.
And so he then like used a bunch of 2x4s and made it so the angle so it could be hooked into the gutter. And so he just basically picked it up, hooked, and like it was a long stick, and then the angle was correct, so the deer was standing up, even though it was on the side of the house.
That's
and he would
amazing.
just pick them up and hook it into the gutter, and boom, done. And so we actually had like Santa and 2 reindeer like on the roof of our house. We had to go up like 2 steps on a ladder to be able to reach, and that was it. And like we can do that. That's not scary at all.
I could do 2 steps.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to bring us on out of here, but I'm going to Sarah Rose is one of our theater people, and she said, "Hey, all, I'm thankful for you and all your support this year." And Sarah has been great. She did some wonderful panels for us, a lot of stuff with the theater group that runs around Dragon Con and all the various panels. I'm sure you've been excited about all the theater that's happening right now in our movie theater. But I'm going to let you, we're going out here, so tell everybody where they can find you. And also, if you want to say one last thing you're thankful for before we go, please do.
Yeah, so the one last thing I am thankful for is the social network Blue Sky, and I am going to repeat Blue Sky's supremacy at this point. Tyra's very tired of me saying that.
It's okay. I'm on there.
I am and the way that you verify yourself is if you have a domain, you can verify yourself that way. So if you go for @BobbyBlackwolf.com, that is my Blue Sky username, not .bsky.social.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yes.
Oh,
and you
have
can
to
even
tell
have
me
like
how.
subdomains and stuff, but that's how you can tell if somebody is official, is if they link it to their domain. I have also on Blue Sky, because it has some features that others don't have, there is a starter pack. And what a starter pack is it's a list of a curated list that somebody can make of people to follow. And you can even just hit a button and say, I want to follow every single one of these people. And I made one for the digital media track.
You did.
So if you go to my profile on Blue Sky, you will see starter packs, and there is a Dragon Con digital media track, which has a bunch of people. And if I miss somebody, let me know. I will happily add you to the starter pack. And so I am thankful for a lot of the strides that Blue Sky has done. And a lot of my audience just all migrated to Blue Sky. I know not every audience has migrated to Blue Sky, but my audience is basically there now. And so it's become the right answer for me in the past like month or two, and it's been really nice. So that's what I'm thankful for.
I wish more of the Swifties would go there. The thing I'm on Twitter for is Swifties. I'm just going to admit it. So I'm linking the starter pack in the chat for everybody. That's what Bobby put together.
It's a weird URL, but
I know, but it works.
It works.
But you're going to have to tell me how I get verified, because I don't know how to do that. So.
Yeah, we'll talk offline and figure that out. Because I want to talk to you about other stuff. So we
see, there we go.
See, this is another thing I'm thankful for. But anyway, where you can find me.
Yeah.
So because a lot of people probably didn't hear my spiel at the beginning, I'm going to condense it just a little bit. I have been a video game podcaster for almost 20 years. I have also been a streamer for that entire time because I was on internet radio starting in 2005. Now I am doing the podcast on Twitch, and I've always done it live. It's Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, over at the Voice of Geeks Network Twitch channel, which is at twitch.tv/VOG Network, VOG Network. I spend an hour, it's like an AM radio talk show talking about the video game industry, topics that I'm talking about in the industry, and taking chat comments and interacting with chat. And so it's a fully interactive experience. I believe episode 917 is this weekend. I believe that's the number I'm at right now. Yeah. Been going since July of 2005. So next year is my 20-year anniversary of being a podcaster in July.
That's amazing.
So that's where you can find me doing that. And that podcast is also available. It's called The Bobby Blackwolf Show. I named it after myself because I thought I was only going to do it for like 20 days. And here I am 20 years later talking about it. So not the best decision I've ever made, but at this point, I'm just living with it. And
yeah, you're kind of stuck at this point.
I'm kind of stuck. So you can also find it on like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and wherever you have your podcatcher. That is an slightly edited version of the part that's live. And when I say slightly edited, I am alone. And so sometimes I stop for like 5 seconds and read chat. If you're listening to me in the car, you don't want to hear dead air for 5-7 seconds.
No.
So I cut out most all of that, so it's more seamless. It's not, I don't cut out content, I don't change content, I don't add content. It's just, if you're here on Sundays, you get the live recording, and then you get the slightly edited. It's like 2 minutes shorter or something, because that's how much dead air I could take out. So that's the Bobby Blackwell Show, or vognetwork.com, or Blue Sky at BobbyBlackwolf.com, or in the DragonCon Digital Media Discord server.
Yes.
You can also find me there.
And if you want to join the DragonCon Digital Media Track Discord server, you can find it at Linktree, DC Digital Media Track. And join our Discord. We have lots of conversations there, and it's the best place to reconnect, but also to ask questions. I know that Vito's been dropping sales that are happening on Black Friday and tempting me with equipment I can't afford right now because I'm going to Disney, and that takes all the change.
That takes all the monies right there.
Takes all the money.
The mouse likes your money.
Yes. Tickets. Oh my God. Anyway, but Linktree, DC Digital Media Track. You can find us on all. It also has links to all our social, and we try to drop some stuff on there. We're much better when we get closer. I'm Tyra Burton. I've been podcasting for a while, but on and off, and you can find me here on Wednesday nights, sometimes with Charles, sometimes with other people, but I won't be here the week I go to Disney. So
good.
Yeah, I know. No. Charles is on his own. That's the way that goes. But I also host a podcast called Building Bold Connections that you can find on YouTube and your podcast servers. It is the Coles College of Kennesaw State University's official podcast. And eventually Geek Meets Social might actually have an episode again. I keep hoping. Anyway, find me there. And I just want to say how thankful I am for everybody. And I just want to say that both DBZ9410 says Happy Thanksgiving, as does Mike. And I, too, say Happy Thanksgiving. I am thankful for all of you. Thanks for tuning in here week after week. And I just love you guys so much. And I appreciate you. And Charles, feel better. I miss you.
And
but
continue
Bobby,
being awesome.
Bobby, you were great.
No, thank you. You were great too, Tyra.
As we
you
say
were
on this,
awesome.
I always say what we say is we're awesome together. Anyway, I'm going to go find Dobby a sock. Y'all have a great night.
Can't have mine.
He tried to steal his dad's one time. He did. He brought me a sock. Anyway, y'all have a good time. I'll see you next Wednesday. Take care out there. Bye.